event that is honored with the presence of the luminaries. This virtual colloquium on recent trends, techniques, and career opportunities on microwave and millimeter wave technologies, antennas and applications is organized by MTTS Kerala chapter, MTTS WIM, APS Site and YP Committee, and MTTS APS SB chapters of GC Barton Hill. With great pleasure, we welcome all the dignitaries and the participants to this eagerly awaited event. Before the proceedings are initiated, we request you to turn off your audio and video and maintain the same throughout the entire session. I would also like to inform you that the session is going live in YouTube now. So without any further delay, I invite Dr. Chinmay Saha, MTTS Kerala Section Chair, to welcome the gathering and kickstart the further procedures. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Gopika. Very good morning and good evening and good day to people around the globe. It's a real pleasure, privilege, and proud moment for all of us, the MTT-S Kerala chapter and Women in Microwave Committee, who are the main host for this particular event. At the very outset, let me extend my heartiest welcome to President Dr. Gregory, President APS Professor Yahia, who is present virtually in this virtual meeting, and Dr. Rashaunda Henderson, President-elect MTT-S 2021, Professor Koul, Dr. Goutam Chattopadhyay, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Siddiqui, Dr. Manoj, WIM coordinator Sherry, Kim, Sivada. All of you have been inspirational. I would like to specially mention Professor Koul and Dr. Goutam, because as you know, MTT-S Kerala chapter is still an infant. It's a 2-year baby. And seed was roped during IMAC 2018, in December 2018 in Kolkata, where he actually motivated me to come up with the MTT-S Kerala chapter. I was the chair of APS Kerala at that particular time. And exactly in the same month, in 2019, we had the inauguration of MTT-S Kerala chapter in a very grand scale in July 2019 at my institute, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. Professor Koul, Dr. Goutam Chattopadhyay, Dr. Pande are physically present along with Professor Siddiqui to have a great inauguration. So we are really proud, and we would like to always express our humble feelings for coming up to this particular position. Let me also welcome the speakers of the event, Ms. Kim, Dr. Zlatica, Dr. Sophia, Dr. Sadia, Dr. Binamal, and Dr. Asimina. As you can see, all the speakers are young, so it goes in tagline of the event, which is Women in Microwave and the APS-YP committee also. And let me also welcome the session chairs, Dr. Devdeep, Dr. Shaptarshi, Dr. Avilasha, Dr. Jawad Siddiqui, Dr. Deepthi Das Krishna, and most importantly, the participants of the events. It has been an overwhelming response. Around 700 participants have registered, and I believe most of them will be attending almost all the sessions. I'll take a couple of minutes to tell about our section. As you know, IEEE Kerala section is one of the largest section across the globe. We are always in top 5 across the globe. Very recently, we have been #1. Right now, probably we are at #2. Just a couple of days before, Beijing has just crossed us by few hundreds or so. So Kerala section has a heritage of doing quality events and having a lot of young members. And our MTT-S Kerala, even though it's a 2-year baby, as I mentioned, it's quite vibrant, and we are doing a lot of activities. And this particular initiative is actually a follow-up of our previous initiative, which we started, during the lockdown, whether India was going in a very bad phase. We are a little bit better now. We started some kind of webinars, and then we started a unique event, which is named as L4, Learn from Leaders and Learn from Legends. And this particular initiative had quite a few committees, WIM, MTT-S Kerala. In fact, IMAT 2021 also, thanks to the suggestion of Dr. Gupta, have joined hands together. Is another unique initiative, and we want to keep it as a series for our future endeavors. And then considering the unprecedented situation, especially in this part of the globe, we'll want to continue this particular type of initiative. And I'm really proud And I would like to congratulate all my office bearers, and especially the young volunteers, and again, especially the women volunteers who are backbone for this particular event, like Sivada, like Meher, like Malubika, and Ananda. There are quite a few very enthusiastic undergraduate students who are the real pillar for this particular event. So I would like to congratulate all of them, and I promise that we'll keep this initiative on and we'll do best for the generation, and with all the support from the society. We are really overwhelmed. The MTT-S society, I know there are a lot of focused initiatives, focused events, through Professor Koul also we are getting a lot of new ideas. So he will be saying something during his talk. So I will touch on that. So we are really proud and privileged to have all the support from the society. So with this, I just talk about the events little bit for another couple of minutes or so, and then I will proceed to the next part of the event. Let me just share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So I already talked about the event, and this is being co-organized by MTT-S Kerala, MTT-S WIM, APS site, IMAC 2021, and MTT-S and APS student branch chapter of Government Engineering College, Barton Hill. We are really proud to have a pool of stalwarts and stars on this particular day. As I mentioned already, 3 presidents, in fact, Professor Koul, the chair of the WIM committee, Professor Siddiqui, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Surendra Paul, and the speakers. There are speakers from different parts of the globe, and bringing them together in a common podium was not that easy, as you know, because of the time gap and etc. But so all credit goes to our speakers. So this is a snapshot of our inauguration. As you can see, almost in the same month, almost in the same week, in July 2019, we had a grand inauguration with Professor Koul, Dr. Goutam, Dr. Pande, Dr. Siddiqui, Dr. Manoj, you can see. So fortunately, we could publish the report of this inauguration in MTT-S Society, in MTT-S Microwave Magazine, Volume 20, December 2019. And then, as I mentioned, we came up with a very focused and new initiative, which is Learn from Leaders and Learn from Legends. And that was co-inaugurated along with one of our student branch chapters, which is Government Engineering College, Barton Hill. That student branch chapter is very active, very vibrant, thanks to quite a few very enthusiastic undergraduate students. You can see Dr. Ala, President 2020, and then Dr. Rashaunda and many other MTT-S and APS members present on the podium, virtual podium. And this was the initiative from us. Let's not break the learning chain, because there was the tagline, break the chain of COVID, by we wanted to keep the education technicalities intact. So these also we could report in a Microwave Magazine, March 2021. And this was the inauguration plaque, virtual plaque that was given to Government Engineering College, Barton Hill. And then some of our events have been reported in IEEE Antennas and Propagation magazine. Also, there was an article by Dr. Devdeep Sarkar and Dr. CJ Reddy's editorial note, you can see. And the main point I want to highlight over here is, you see some of our student volunteers, very young volunteers, they are felicitated from the AP Society as well as MTT-S Kerala, and that snapshot, it's a virtual snapshot, of course. It was reported in the Antennas and Propagation magazine. In our L4 podium, till now we have organized quite a few number of talks, and you can see including the DL speakers, including President-elect, and Dr. Ramesh Gupta came one day. We had a session with Professor Yahia, Antar, CJ Reddy, Dr. Goutam, Dr. Nuno, Dr. Paul, Dr. Pande, Dr. Siddiqui, Dr. Poddar, Sri Shravan Kumar from ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, and then Dr. Ashina, and then Levent Sigby. So probably, we are really surprised to receive the Best Chapter Award because we are still a baby. But again, thanks to all of you, support to the mentors, the seniors, the leaders who have guided us in initiating this chapter and going forward. So again, my heartful thank to all of you. So this is the program at a glance. Immediately after the inauguration, we have a talk by Ms. King, then couple of talks in the evening, and then another couple of talks tomorrow morning, and then evening talk tomorrow by Dr. Rasimina, and that would be followed by valedictory session, where there will be an exclusive session by IMARC 2021, Dr. Ramesh and Dr. Jalil Akhtar, the chair of IMARC 2021, will be talking about the IMARC initiative, especially WIM initiative, etc. So these are a little bit more detail about the day-wise session. So this is the evening session of today, right? And then this is morning session tomorrow. We have talks by Dr. Sophia and Dr. Binamol, and then we have another evening session tomorrow, which is a talk by Dr. Rasimina, which will be followed by the valedictory session. And then during the valedictory session, because of again the global time, we invited Dr. Bozi and Dr. Nuno. They wanted to come during the valedictory session along with Dr. Goutam Chattopadhyay, Dr. Ramesh, and Dr. Jalil Akhtar will be representing the IMARC committee. With this, I conclude my inaugural talk, and thank you very much again for being with us. And let us with this, let us move forward to the next part of the event. Thank you so much. And because we want to save the time, so I'll be taking care of the session. I have been requested to preside over the session. So may I request Dr. Greg Lyons, IEEE MTT-S President 2021, to deliver the presidential address. Over to you, Dr. Greg.
Very much, Chenmoy. And good day, everybody. Good morning in India and good evening here in the United States where I am. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Women in Microwaves virtual colloquium. And for my talk today, I'm going to be focusing on community, a few different aspects of community. And I'd like to start first with the IEEE community. And IEEE today, it's a truly international organization. It began in 1963 with the merger between the American Institute of Electrical Engineers and the Institute of Radio Engineers. The MTT Society, founded in 1952, was part of IRE, and so it became part of IEEE in 1963. And since that time, IEEE is now a truly international organization, that it has more international members than members in the United States. So 39 societies, 7 councils, more than 420,000 members. And so with that being an international organization, international community, it has reach around the world. So advancing technology for humanity.
He's got muted.
So there are my slides. Can you hear me again?
Yes.
Okay, good. My slides weren't advancing. So it's also true of MTT. MTT today is also a truly international organization with more members that are international than in the United States. And in fact, our membership growth in Region 10 is actually quite strong. We are very slowly losing members in the United States, but MTT is also an international community, and we call ourselves the megahertz to terahertz community. And a little bit about MTT. So our conferences, our publications, the work our members do spans the spectrum from HF to terahertz. And you see the 3 pillars of what MTT does. So it's theory, components, and an area that's seen a lot of growth lately, which is RF systems and applications. And I mentioned community. One of the things that we as a society are working on is to make sure that those members, those RF engineers that are working on RF systems and applications today, find MTT to be a community, not just in the society, but also in our International Microwave Symposium. And I'd like to note that next year is in fact the 70th anniversary of MTT, having been founded in 1952. So a little bit about our publications. We have a new publication called the Journal of Microwaves. It launched in 2021. It's a gold open access journal. In fact, if you would like a free print copy of the inaugural issue, you can go onto our website at mtt.org and it will be shipped to you. It's been launched very successfully. 2 of the articles, for example, were in the top 20 Explore downloads, and we're looking forward to a very bright future for that journal. So I've got the years that our journals were founded up in green. Of course, our transactions founded the year after the society was formed in 1953. And then starting in 1991, about every 10 years, we have added a wholly owned MTT publication. So our letters, and then our magazine, then Terahertz Science and Technology, and finally Journal of Microwaves. So the story is a little bit different with joint journals. And again, back to the community idea, joint publications represent interdisciplinary communities. And over the past several years, MTT has seen significant growth in the number of joint publications, and that's generally true within IEEE. The latest that was approved this year is transaction on signal and power integrity that we're doing with the EMC Society. And so this is very important. It's reaching across societies and creating communities that don't exist within each society. And a very good example of this, we're currently working towards a transaction on radar systems, and we are actually involving 8 different IEEE societies because radar systems today crosses so many society boundaries. So we're very much looking forward to creating that interdisciplinary community. And then really the most important for this colloquium, I want to talk a little bit about a community for women in microwaves. And this graphic here shows MTT membership. It's a snapshot of December 2020, total membership of about 11,000. And when that snapshot was taken, we had about 7% female members. We certainly would like to see that number grow. It is significant. During 2021, we did lose some MTT membership as we got deep into the pandemic. And in fact, the percentage of female members increased. The last snapshot I saw was 12%. And that's actually a really good sign. It means that the women members of MTT have found a community, and they have chosen to stay within that community throughout the pandemic more than our male members have. So that's actually quite good news. So Sherry Hess will be talking to you a bit later about women in microwaves. For 2021, MTT has a task force on mentoring diversity and inclusion. And the two items that we're really targeting with that is to increase women's role in conference organization and content, and also to increase the number and the scope of webinars focused on mentoring and diversity. And the last thought for you regarding the women in microwaves community, there have actually been studies conducted recently that show diverse teams are higher performance teams. And so you can really say the idea of diversifying your team for success is a true statement. Diversity inclusion really involves a culture change within many organizations. It's about the culture of the organization. And the reason we've added mentoring to that is you can't just change the culture, but you also need to mentor members of your team. And that's true whether they're women or they're men. But if you have a diverse team and you mentor your team members, you will have a higher performance team. And that studies have shown that that's really true. So with that, I'd like to thank the organizers of this Women in Microwaves virtual colloquium, and I'd like to thank you, Chinmoy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Greg, for your wonderful speech and highlighting about the society and about the events. So next, I would like to call Professor Yahia Antar for his presidential address. Professor Antar is on an international trip, but he has sent his pre-recorded video to us. So Ms. Sivada will be presenting that video to us. Sivada.
Good morning. I'm Yahia Antar. I'm the president of the Antennas and Propagation Society, and I'm really glad to know that the IEEE MTT Women Engineering Virtual Colloquium on Recent Trends, Techniques, and Career Opportunities in Microwave Millimeter Wave Technology and Antenna Application is being jointly organized by MTT Kerala, APS site, and Young Professional and Women Engineering MTT Committee. This is really a wonderful two-day event that I understand will host many distinguished speakers from the domain of microwave engineering from all over the world, which is wonderful. IEEE and all their sites are trying to engage more women engineers on board. There is many committees there, including the EDI committee and diversity, inclusion, equality. The importance of women on antennas microwave groups is vital, and gender and race equality are important. Focused events like this one will provide more emphasis on the promotion of equality. We are at the AP Society are very active as well in that and trying to promote the same quality. I'm glad to highlight that the MTT Kerala chapter has played an active role over the years in organizing many events such as this one. I feel the students are really motivated and guided well, and that can be measured by the quality and the quantity of events that the Kerala chapter have organized during the pandemic. I would like also to emphasize the work done by the co-organizer of the event, namely the site and young professional, and AP Society is glad to lend its support to such events and will always do that in the future. Your community is wonderful. Your community is big. You have about 10% of the Antenna Propagation Society in India. Many of them are in Kerala, and many of them basically are young and diverse as well. My best wishes to the speakers that you're hosting there, namely Dr. Zlatica Marinkovic from Serbia and Dr. Sofia Rahmanjad from JPL in NASA. The presence of Mrs. Kim Eiler, the IEEE MTT Women Coordinator, is really great. I also noticed that Dr. Asmina Kiwarti from Ohio State University, who was actually a very active member in the Antenna Society Young Professional and other committees, and she was actually present in the meeting today, or the outcome meeting with APS, and I see she's also active in the Open Journal Antenna and Propagation. She organized many webinars, and I really find this very remarkable. Dr. K.S. Binamor from DRDO in India, and Dr. Sadia Farjana from Chalmers University, Sweden, are also present, and that their effort is really great. Finally, again, I would like to salute the organizers, and I'd like to thank the very active group that organizing that, and I'm particularly glad to see Dr. Chinmoy Saha, the MT chapter chair, Kerala, and Ms. Sherry Hess from the Chair of Institute of Engineering, and my good friend and active member as well, Dr. Jawad Siddiqui, Chair of our Antennas and Propagation Site Committee, who's also active in many other committees, and Dr. Debjeep Sarkar from the AP Society Young Professional Committee, and he is actually very active in that, and as I saw in the ADCOM meeting this morning. Also, Dr. Anu Mohammed, faculty advisor. The group obviously is doing a fantastic job. GSC Barton Hill and Mr. Arjit Mitra, Secretary of the APS Kerala chapter. You are all doing wonderful things. You have many members in there. And of course, I should highlight the effect of the student members. The students are the ones who really do the hard work. They are the future of society. And I'm really hopeful that the future will be great because of these young professionals. Dr. Greg Lyons, my colleague and the president of MTT, I'm glad he is going to be able to join you. Again, I apologize for not being able to attend the meeting because of travel commitment, but I hope and I'm sure things would go very well, and I hope to see you in the next event in person. So thank you very much and have a very good meeting. Thank you.
Our sincere thanks to Professor Yahia Antar. He has been always with us during his tenure as president, and he has been also technically involved with some of us, including me. And my thanks to Professor Siddiqui also for arranging this particular video, because I know he recorded this one just before his international trip at Kingston. So thank you very much, Professor Siddiqui, for coordinating this particular one. Now, I would request Dr. Rashaunda Henderson, IEEE MTT-S President-elect 2021, to deliver her presidential address. Over to you, Dr. Rashaunda.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. I didn't, well, I had some slides, but then I decided I would just sort of talk from the heart and not share them. But I really want to just congratulate you, Chinmoy, and your team on everything that you do. Quite honestly, I had the pleasure of being introduced to you through Goutam, hosting you as you gave a webinar for back in I believe 2019. And since that time, we've had the opportunity to work together, and you've invited me to present. And so I'm just so appreciative of the opportunity to interact with what's going on in the Kerala chapter. And so I just celebrate everything that you all have done. You're very creative. Each time you present new ideas, and you show how, in spite of the fact that we're locked down, so to speak, that there are ways that we can engage and present new topics and try to bring everyone together, whether it's around legends or even here now with women in microwaves. And so I don't want to take the thunder away from what Greg has shared, as well as what Sherry's going to share about women in microwaves in particular. So that's why I didn't present a set of slides. But I think back to my opportunity to visit India. I had been invited so many times by Shiban to come, and finally I had the opportunity in 2019 to the IMARC meeting there, and we were so looking forward to visiting in 2020, and we're still hoping as the future unfolds that those times to really engage face to face will come back, because we know that from the recent IMS meeting in Atlanta that it's so important to to not just be on these virtual platforms, but to be able to literally shake hands and to break bread together, so to speak. So I once again appreciate everything that you and your team have done to highlight women all over the world, and in particular bring us all together this weekend so that we can continue to remain involved with each other in spite of the challenge that we all face. So once again, I just want to thank you for this opportunity and celebrate everyone and all the activities that will go on over the next 2 days and the hard work that's been put in making this so successful. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Rashaunda Henderson. You had been with us always, and it has been a pleasure to share the virtual podium and some of the movements during IMARC 2019 at IIT Bombay. Thank you very much. So now I request Ms. Sherry Hess, Chair IEEE MTT-S Women in Microwave Committee, to deliver her address about WIME activities and opportunities maybe. Over to you, Ms. Sherry.
Great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
Yes. And the slides are looking good.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I want to say hello to everyone and thank you all for attending, and thank you to the Kerala Chapter Organizing Committee for bringing us together this evening in the US and this hopefully a delightful day in India. My name is Sherry Hess, as you've heard, and I'm the chair of the IEEE MTT-S Women in Microwaves, which we abbreviate WIM, committee for the calendar year 2021. I'd like to take the next 10 minutes to cover a little bit more about women in engineering, that we abbreviate as WE, in general within IEEE, as well as some specifics as it relates to women in microwaves, essentially a smaller affinity group within the larger WE community. To understand how we're doing as a society to further our membership and impact, I want to take a look back at some notable achievements over the years. As Greg actually commented earlier, the convergence of IRE and AIEE formed our IEEE organization, and IRE is closely aligned with MTT. And a lot of things that happened over the past 100+ years, but it wasn't until the 1950s when we started making significant progress with female members. And then in 2018, we actually celebrated our first female president of the MTT Society with Professor Dominic Schur of KU Leuven. And I want to give some thank you to Dominic for her term as president. It's actually what inspired me to step up my own involvement within the society. And I'm very much looking forward to our second female president, whom you just met, Professor Rashaunda Henderson of UT Dallas. Taking a little bit closer look at how we've done really the year prior to Dominic's term and how we're doing today. We're hiding some of these numbers, but again, as I think Greg commented, our membership has grown when we look at the percentage being female, and increased globally of a little bit more than 1% over the past 5 years. I think it's a very positive trend, one we certainly want to see continue and hopefully grow even further. And while at first pass, it may look at region 10 here at the bottom where I have the red rectangles, may have had a slight decline as a percentage. It's not really the whole truth, because our membership in this region is really the fastest growing, as you heard in the very beginning. So overall, the numbers are higher if we look at the raw numbers as opposed to a percentage than they were back in 2017. We go a little bit deeper into each of the regions. This is just reinforcing the comment I made that region 10 is our largest and growing the fastest. And I'm very delighted to be here and see, I think we have over 100+ participants, which speaks to the success of this region and everything that's going on in the chapter. I'm looking forward to seeing these continue to grow in the years ahead. Another way we can take a look at some of our membership number, and in particular for women in engineering and women in microwaves, is take a look at the top right. We actually find that our peak members have somewhere between 6 to 15 years of service, represents our largest segment. As far as status, just the entry level starting off at member is the most common, but if we group students into graduates as well as undergraduates, It's a very significant size, then followed by senior member. And one thing I think that's interesting, and I'd like to make a priority next year for our Women in Microwave Committee, is if you look at that 6 to 15 years of service, right, and there's a large percentage of women, I think we do have some untapped female members that we should likely elevate to senior member status. So I want to make it a little bit of an awareness campaign next year to see what we can do to boost those numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to spin and focus specifically on women in microwaves and the activity that's been going on thus far in 2021 and will continue. We actually have a wonderful committee, subcommittee. These are all the faces globally that hopefully you will recognize. This is the subcommittee that we work together to shine a spotlight on all that we're doing and ideally pull more female members into our community for both personal and professional growth. These are 19 faces, which I hope you get a chance to meet this year, either virtually or in person, and in the future years. As for our goals and objectives for WIM this year, it's really to continue to build our network that attracts, connects, and scales our membership. The event today is just one of the excellent examples of how we do this. Thank you to the committee again for putting on the program that I guess we're going to be experiencing all weekend. And while everyone knows 2021 has not been a typical year for events, we still have had or will be holding 7 conferences globally at which we have a WIM program taking place. So 3 have been conducted already this year. The first in January at Radio Wireless Week, that was a virtual event. We had a second one in China at IWS in May, and that actually was a live event. And most recently at IMS in June, we actually had a live networking reception as well as a virtual program. And so for the rest of the year following our event today, you'll see additional WIM activities planned for Comcast in Israel, APMC in Australia, and we certainly hope IMARC in India in December. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you at one of these live events soon. And in addition to the events, we also contribute to a monthly column in the IEEE Microwave magazine. And this year we've done an excellent job of ensuring that we have a presence in each and every issue. And we're already, I think, filling up about the first half of 2022. So I want to thank all of our female members out there for contributing. And please reach out to anybody if you would like to continue to contribute to a future column. Similarly, we also will be launching the first part of next year an inaugural WIM special issue of the IEEE Microwaves magazine. This will include 4 to 6 all-female authors, technical articles in that issue, and we'd like to turn it into either an annual or biannual edition. And I just want to say, since time is short and I'm probably already over my 10 minutes, please make a point to visit our WIM page on the mtt.org site. There you'll see all of our activities that are taking place. You can join an email newsletter list so we can do a better job at communicating all the wonderful things that are happening. And sometimes we just shine a spotlight on all the wonderful ladies in our organization. So again, I'd like to thank you for including me in the program today, and I wish you a wonderful weekend of success.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sherry, for wonderful presentation and sharing some of the upcoming initiatives from the WIM committee. Thank you so much. Now I would request Professor Shiban Koul, IEEE MTT-S R10 coordinator, and in fact he had been the mentors, as I told quite a few times. He is a mentor, motivator, and constant guide for us. So over to you, Professor Koul, for your message as R10 coordinator and in general.
Sure. President Greg Lyons and MTT-S President Antar, AP President, and Rashaunda Henderson, he is the President-elect 2021. Sherry, who is the Women in Engineering Coordinator. And then we have Chinmay Saha, who is organizing this event. Sudhakar is the site chair, Debadeep Sarkar, advisory committee members, student volunteers, and I would like to mention about Swada. She has been handling this particular event. So as a regional coordinator, a warm welcome to all of you, and thank you very much for participating in this virtual WIE Colloquium event. I would like to share with you, my PhD supervisor was a female lady, and Professor Bharati Bhatt, very well known internationally. And during IMARC 2016, we had organized, Sherry organized a Women in Engineering session during IMARC, where she delivered, Professor Bharati Bhatt delivered a keynote talk on the women and their role. And it was very well attended at that particular point time. I would like to also share that at present in my group, we have 5 to 6 PhD students who are females. And I've been wondering all along why women prefer to do PhD in this difficult area of microwave. I know men don't want, females prefer it. I think finally I got an answer to this question. And, when you do these Maxwell's equations, it needs patience. And I believe women have a lot of patience. And in future, if you get an application from a PhD student who's a female, grab her. I do that at IIT Delhi. If you have seen in the past 1 or 2 years in India, I think we have been growing the activities in the microwave antenna propagation, WIE related activities have been growing, including the YP. We have had several seminars, webinars, and motivating talks like last time, Chinmay mentioned the L4. And there are some chapters who also organize practical training sessions. And these have been going on. I think the reports are already in magazines. The activities have been increasing quite a bit. And in recognition, you will see that 3 chapters from India, this is a record. 3 chapters last year got the Outstanding Chapter Award. It was a unanimous decision in the committee. So thanks to all those chapters for most of the chapters in India, the large numbers, have lost the count. They are active, but there are few who are inactive, and I have started already a drive to basically motivate the chapter officers, and shortly we'll be reviving all these chapters. So we will have 100% chapters active. And in this context, I would like to thank 2 persons, one is Kim Alert and Nuno. They have been excellent support for whether it is funding, it is updating of the directory. So they have been doing wonderful job. Now, recently we have seen very young volunteers emerging. Chinmay is one example. Then we have Debiti, who's the young professional thing. We have Anu from Barton College. Then we have Hyderabad section, Hyderabad chapter, Sandeep Chaturvedi. Then we have Somak Bhattacharya, who's now the regional coordinator for the YP activities, and so on. The list is big. So we definitely have now second line. We don't need to worry that we don't have volunteers, and they can fit in. I see Swada's name in the WIE committee, and I'm sure many of you will be in the committees, maybe ADCOM or ADCOM related committees in future. So we don't have to worry as far as the volunteers from India are concerned. If you look at, in India, we have done enough webinars. We have invited several DMLs, and we have been organizing several such meetings, excellent events by Chinmay and other people. But there are few things which we need to do now collectively. I have been discussing this with Chinmay, and we need to move and improve certain things. What are those things which we need to improve? Number 1 is our membership. And as Greg and Sherry pointed out, we should also give special emphasis to female members. Motivate them so that they join. So membership development from this region has to, it's almost stagnant, slight improvement is there, but that is something which we will discuss internally and see to it how we can do it. We should also organize courses imparting practical training to our students, both females, males, so that they are picked up by big companies and get very good jobs. And the third point, which is of importance, is if you look at the publications in the IEEE related journals, I think earlier it used to be 0. Now we see some double-digit numbers. But this is something which we need to teach our master's PhD students. It's very, very important to have. It's like, attaching a gold pin to your collar if you have a paper in the IEEE transactions, microwave or antenna propagation. Though numbers are increasing, but still we lack in this particular area. So we may organize some sessions specifically how to write very good papers. What is the process? I can help in that, and there are other volunteers from the US who have been delivering these talks. Madhu has been doing, and so I will connect you to those things. So this is very, very important. And if you look at 1 or 2 years back, Rashaunda and Ramesh, when they were in the education committee, initiated to give hands-on training to the students, initiated Sigma YE, which is Special Interest Group on Microwave Education. We have been successful to a large extent, and we delivered about 20 RF kits in India and abroad. Unfortunately, the person who was doing this work for us died because of the COVID-19 at a young age of 46 years this year in May. And we had a dead period for some time, but now we have revived. There's another company who will be manufacturing these kits, and we have taken an initiative to supply this time first in region 9, which is Mexico, Peru, and other regions. And I have sent the details to Ramesh and other people in EDCOM. So some of the kits we could not supply in India, and now onwards, I think these kits will be available. Make use of them to impart practical training to your students. So please connect with me to get information about these. The other initiative which I have been talking to Chinmay, which will be shortly announced, and maybe we'll request President at that time to inaugurate it, is on the same lines as the EDCOM has done undergraduate, postgraduate fellowships. And this year we have one fellowship granted to a professor and a student from IIT Kharagpur. But we need more. India is a vast country. So I'm planning to initiate 30 undergraduate, postgraduate fellowships, 50% to female students, 50% to male students. And Chinmay and I have been talking about it. Delay has been because of me due to COVID problems. And shortly we will initiate this. So these 30 fellowships will be given to 30 students, budding students who are willing to do projects, hardware projects in these areas. And we expect them to publish papers in IMARC to begin with, and then later in the MTT-related conference. So funding is this for this particular program is being generated locally. And we have a program already, UG, PG fellowships from MTT. I will encourage all people, all supervisors here to encourage the students to apply for that, as well as for our own India Initiative program. I'm sure that this will attract more students to do practical projects. And at the end of the day, we will see increased membership. So we're going to try this particular one in this year. And with these few words, I wish the colloquium a great success, and if there's anything you need from us, we'll provide it. And we have excellent open-minded president and president-elect, and they are always there to support all our activities. And in return, we will definitely move the membership drive up and organize several such events. And I will personally work with Chinmay to see to that we work out a mechanism to impart practical training, because the equipment is very expensive. And we will probably think of a handheld network analyzer along with a kit to be given to many more colleges, and see to that we have more publications coming out of India in the near future. Thank you very much. Thank Chinmay, and thanks to all of you for participating in this event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. You have always been very, very inspirational. So the points that you mentioned regarding the good papers, then the membership growth, and the new initiative on UGPG fellowship, I'm very sure we'll move forward. And I am more than sure that participants are really excited to hear about that. Thank you very much, sir, for your support always.
Thank you.
Be with us. Yeah. So now, before we move to the felicitation address, which will be offered by Dr. Reddy and Professor Siddiqui, Ms. Sivada will play a short video on our chapter, and then there will be a virtual photo session. So over to you, Sivada.
Hello everybody, this is Dr. Chinmay Shah, founder and current chapter chair of IEEE MTT-S Kerala chapter, starting its journey in July 2019 through a colorful and exciting inauguration in presence of MTT-S leaders, Professor Koul, Dr. Goutam, Dr. Siddiqui, Dr. Pande, at Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, India. Over the past 2 years, IEEE MTT-S Kerala has taken leadership in organizing several high-impact events even during the pandemic, thanks to the support of the society leaders and encouragement from volunteers and, of course, the participants. We believe that collective effort is the key tool in achieving professional excellence. If everyone moves together, then excellence takes care of itself. With this motto, MTT-S Kerala chapter, thanks to the support from the society leaders, came up with 2 student branches immediately in the year 2019. IEEE Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, MTT-S SBC, followed by formation of MTT-S Government Engineering College, Barton, Thiruvananthapuram. Both the MTT-S organizational units are situated the same city. On behalf of IEEE MTT-S Kerala chapter and the 2 student branches, I am going to take this opportunity to present our chapter activities amidst this prestigious platform. Since inception, MTT-S Kerala is extremely active in successfully organizing a plethora of high-quality technical events, seminars, workshops, student colloquium, student competitions, and post-COVID initiative for professional student participants from all over Kerala, India, and region too. Dr. Ala inaugurated the IEEE MTT-S SBC GEC Barton online on September 17, 2020 in presence of Dr. Rashaunda, Dr. Ramesh, Professor Koul, Dr. Goutam, Dr. Pande, Dr. Siddiqui, and Dr. Shah. 2020 was very challenging. The battle is still on. During the pandemic, we started a new initiative in September 2020. L4, Learn from Leaders and Learn from Legends. The event was inaugurated by Dr. Ala in presence of Dr. Rashaunda, Professor Nuno, Dr. Goutam, Dr. Ramesh, Professor Koul. Combined report on the inauguration of MTT-S GC Barton and L4 initiative is published in IEEE MTT-S Microwave magazine. Under this unique L4 series, we had a large number of high-quality talks and panel discussions. Dr. Nuno, Dr. Goutam, Dr. Shiban, Dr. Rashaunda, Dr. Ramesh, Professor Yahia Antar, Dr. Levent Sigby have delivered talk in our L4 podium. We have utilized the online mode in an effective way and conducted a large number of webinars in several topics. These webinars were a massive success during the extended lockdown, with over 200 people turning in from all over the world. Some of our speakers are Dr. Paul Russell, Dr. Atif Shamim, Dr. Tosh, Dr. Stuart, Mr. Ryan, and Dr. Ghosh. Women in RF is a new webinar series by us. Dr. Devarati, postdoctoral research fellow, Royal Military College of Canada, delivered the first talk in this series. Several other talks by accomplished women in the various fields are being prepared and scheduled. On September 12 and 13, 2020, we jointly organized ISRO 2020, workshop on advanced antennas for space and industrial applications. The meeting, held on the Cisco WebEx platform and broadcasted live on YouTube, was attended by 500 registered participants from all over the world. The event was inaugurated by Dr. V.K. Dadwal, Director IIST, Dr. B.S. Manoj, GR IEEE SB IIST, Dr. Shah, and Professor Anu. Dr. Yahia Antar, APS President-elect 2020, delivered the presidential address. Dr. Y.V.N. Krishnamurthy, Dr. Rao, Dr. Surendra Paul, and Dr. Siddiqui delivered the felicitation address. Dr. Rao, Dr. Nasir, Dr. Pal, Dr. Prasad, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Shibnarayan, Dr. Sagi, and Mr. Lars and Ms. Lucia delivered talks on various topics. On December 21st, we organized millimeter wave and terahertz workshop with Dr. Song, Dr. Binoy, Dr. Gaurav, and Dr. Kaushik as resource persons. The event, conducted in WebEx and live stream on YouTube, was attended by 400 participants from all around the globe. The event was inaugurated by Dr. Manoj and the welcome address was delivered by Dr. Shah. We have arranged workshops, quizzes, MATLAB sessions, and peer-to-peer interactive sessions for the benefits of students, members, and community. Various initiatives such as MTT-S internship, mentorship, and field visits are in pipeline. This is in continuation of industrial visits we had between November 2019 and March 2020. A new initiative, 3MPT, 3 Minutes Project and Thesis Competition for UG and PG students, started in 2020. In July 2020, as a special COVID initiative, we distributed low-cost handmade face shields to office workers and security personnel. We are happy to inform that we have launched our YouTube channel and MP pages, and all our activities are archived there. MTT-S Kerala chapter introduced a chapter-level Best Volunteer Award. In 2020, Ms. Gopika from IIST, Ms. Sivada, and Akshat got the MTT-S Kerala Outstanding Volunteer Award. Effort of our volunteers are recognized by IEEE APS headquarters as well. Mr. Vinod, Ms. Elizabeth, Ms. Gopika, Ms. Sivada, Mr. Akshat, and Mr. Allen received the Outstanding Volunteer Award from APS headquarters. We are also extremely delighted to see our volunteer Ms. Sivada being part of IEEE MTT-S Women in Microwave Committee. MTT-S Kerala chapter expresses its heartfelt condolences on the departure of two legends in last 2 weeks, Professor Sudhakar and Professor Ito. Lockdown has affected our day-to-day activities, but it should not affect our learning process. The learning chain should never be broken. Last year, 2020 has revealed to mankind its immense potential to survive unexpected crises. It taught us to network and collaborate well, keeping ourselves far apart. Even during this pandemic situation, our chapter was able to conduct a wide variety of events that were praiseworthy. We are looking forward to continue this trend both in online and offline mode. Also, we do intend to provide internship initiative for UG and PG students. Great things in a business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people. I am thankful to all my colleagues of IEEE MTT-S Kerala section and the student branch members for their contribution towards the growth and success of our society. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be with us. Bye. Thank you again.
Now we have a photo session, virtual photo session. So I request all of you to turn on your video for this session. And hopefully we'll be trying to report this also. So Ms. Sivada will take a snap. Sivada, take a couple of good quality one and then let me know when you are done.
Sir, actually, my network quality is bad, so I request all other volunteers to take the snap. Meher, are you there?
Gopika, Meher, please take care. Any of our students can do because it's not tough. Just keep it and then post it in our WhatsApp group. Take a print screen. I'm also doing the same.
I've done it. I'll send it to you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So hopefully we have quite a number, and please send it to me. Thank you. So now we move toward the last part of this inaugural event. We have Dr. CJ Reddy with us for a felicitation address. Over to you, Dr. Reddy.
Very much, Chinmay, and hello to everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to the inaugural session here. First of all, congratulations on the very good talks as well as good speakers for this event, as well as for the student volunteers for their hard work. Just I want to put one word in because I'm also representing APS Young Professional Committee. We actually announced this week a new program, brand new program called APS Young Ambassadors, with the theme of inform and inspire. This is where we're going to select across the world, I guess, in various regions, young professionals who can give talks on demand at various chapters and sections virtually. So that's why we increase their participation in the not only in the society but also in their own activities. Of course, thanks to Professor Antar, who gave me this charter this year to revise the Young Professionals Committee, and so we started the column in AP Magazine as well this year again, and we have every issue, one article coming for the rest of the year as well as in the next year. Of course, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Devdeep Sarkar, who is on our committee, I think in this case, but also on the organizing committee here, as well as Dr. Asimina Kyuturi, who is also on our committee, AP YP committee, and giving a talk in this colloquium. I'm sure the talks will be very informative and productive and will be a great learning experience for all attendees. Wish you all the best. Thank you, Chinmay. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Reddy. You have been always with us on various other forums, platforms, and you are also a true inspiration for all of us. So now I would request Professor Siddiqui, Chair IEEE APS Site Committee, to offer his felicitation address. Over to you, Professor Siddiqui.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chinmoy, and good evening to friends and colleagues in the US, and good morning to friends and colleagues in India. It's my great pleasure on behalf of the AP Site Committee, which I'm representing here. I'd like to state that we're very glad to be part of this organizing team of the event, the IEEE MTT-S WIM virtual colloquium organized by this MTT-S Kerala chapter and co-organized by the APS Young Professional Committee, represented by Dr. C.J. Reddy and Dr. Deep Sharkar, and the MTT-S Women in Micros Committee. And as we know that this event has wonderful speakers from around the globe. A bit about this APS Site Committee. This Antar Preparation Site Committee is formed with a vision of to contribute the strengthening of this objective in finding solutions to humanitarian challenges across the globe. And this was formed in 2011, and we have been doing some activities in this domain. And the APS Site Committee has also done through activities in close cooperation with the MTT-S Site Group. I did one of those events in this IMAR that was conducted or held in Kolkata in 2018. And along with the site committee, the Antar Propagation Society also has this committee called the Koul, which pledges to promote equality across gender, race, income, and other variants. The SCOPE stands for Committee on Promoting Equality, and it has the intention of promoting equality by leveraging the access of opportunities in science and technology, mostly to the underserved community. Thank you so much, and I would like to also thank MTT-S Kerala chapter and led by Dr. Chinmoy Saha. And this chapter has been trailblazer in conducting quality virtual activities, especially during this pandemic, along with all the student volunteers who have been supporting this and have been the backbone of these events that has been happening for the last 1 year or more. And my best wishes to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Siddiq. You have been an inspiration from day one in my professional career, and also from day one of the MTT-S Kerala chapter and other AP-related activities also. Thank you so much. Now we are on the last leg of this inaugural session. I request IEEE APS YP committee members, Dr. Deep Sharkar from IISc Bangalore, to offer a formal vote of thanks to the inaugural session. Over to you, Dr. Dev.
Yeah, so thanks very much. I hope I am audible. Yeah, okay. So good morning to our friends in India, and good evening to our friends and colleagues in US. So as a part of the organizing committee, it's indeed an honor for me to give the formal vote of thanks after this wonderful inaugural session to this Women in Microwave virtual colloquium. So due to time constraints, I will try to keep it short and crisp. So first of all, since this event is organized through the support of two IEEE societies, so I'd like to thank the two current society presidents, Dr. Gregory Lyons from MTT-S and Dr. Yahia Antar from APS, and also the President-elect 2021, Dr. Rashaunda Henderson. So we'd like to express our sincere gratitude towards our advisory committee members, Dr. Shiban, Koul, Dr. Goutam Chattopadhyay, Dr. Ajay Poddar, Dr. DC Pande, Dr. B.S. Manoj, Dr. Vijay Kumar, and also Dr. Surendra Pal for their timely suggestions and kind support. Now, as you can understand, the central role of this colloquium is played by the IEEE MTT-S WIM committee. So we would like to thank Ms. Sherry, Dr. Kim, and other WIM members. Without their active involvement, this grand colloquium would not have been possible to organize. And it's indeed a privilege for us to host speakers, accomplished speakers like Dr. Zlatika, Dr. Kim, Dr. Sophia, Dr. Vinamole, Dr. Farjana, and Dr. Asivina. We are really thankful that they took out time from their busy schedule and would present, we would see in the coming hours and in this weekend, nice informative talks from them. So at this juncture, I would also like to thank Dr. Nuno and Dr. Bozi for lending their support by committing to join us in the valedictory session. There we'd also be joined by Dr. Jalil Akhtar and Dr. Ramesh Gupta, who would be sharing about the upcoming MTT-S event, that is the IMARC 2021. And we also have received immense support from IEEE APS Site Committee and IEEE APS Young Professional Committee to organize this event. So we'd like to thank the respective chairs, Dr. Jawad Siddiqui and Dr. CJ Reddy. And finally, I'd like to express thanks and gratitude to the entire organizing committee, the IEEE MTT-S Kerala chapter and the IEEE MTT-S and APS student branches of GC Barton and IST Trivandrum, the faculty members, the leaders like Dr. Shaha, and also Dr. Anu Muhammad, Arijit Mitra, and under their leadership, there have been numerous student volunteers starting from Sivada and Meher and Akshat and Gopika. So, I mean, due to the short time, I probably cannot take the names of all. But as you know, like organizing an event in this virtual mode, it's indeed a tough ask. It may seem easier at the beginning, but there has to be done a lot of things in the back end to keep the entire thing smoothly running and continuing in the nice vein. So with that, I'd like to conclude my formal vote of thanks to over to you, Dr. Shah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Devdeep. Indeed, a pleasure always to work with you, and of course to our whole team. So with this, our inaugural session is over, and we move to the first technical session of the event. We are maybe